Welcome to episode 6 of this series of 24, Ask the Key to a Better Life. So there's one part of our lives where just being able to initially ask different questions won't work. It's what I call the pit of despair. For those of you that were fans of the Princess Bride book or movie, you'll understand that reference, but it's really when life really kicks us in the butt. Something horrible has happened. It can be we've lost everything in a tornado or a hurricane, or we've lost our job, or even losing a relationship, or being freshly out of a relation. These are deeply personal things, horrific things that happen to us. And at that point, it's not realistic for me to say, all you need to do is ask different questions. You're not feeling good, so ask better questions, you'll come out of it. Because this is a point in our life when something that bad happens that it's too much, it's too overwhelming, it's too all-encompassing. If you've been hurt or injured or lost everything or lost a loved one, God forbid, at that point, you need to process that. You need to go through whatever grieving process you need. And by the way, none of us are the same. What works for you isn't going to work for me, and you need to take the time that you need to take to get past whatever that is. So give yourself permission, give yourself time to process and grieve and get past that emotional experience that life has given us. Here's the thing though, at some point, you're going to be at the point where you've grieved enough, you've processed enough, but you still can't seem to get out of the funk. You still can't seem to move on with your life. You still can't seem to pick up the pieces, or whatever analogy you want to use. At that point, you're kind of stuck. Because it's that pit of despair. You're sort of stuck in this channel where there's these huge walls and you can't figure a way to climb out. So what next? How do you do it? How do you get out? It's what I call the power of if. And if I really thought that why was the most important question you can ask, that three-letter word, why, if is the most powerful. Because at this point, we are really down in the depths. This is emotional. It's so hard to get out of when you have this kind of emotion, this kind of powerful feeling over us, that the power of if is really how we get out. And here's how it works. Again, looking at your brain as a computer, that if you ask it the right question, it'll get out. But if I ask the question, let's say I lost everything in a catastrophe, whatever it was, natural catastrophe, and I've lost everything, and I say, okay, Michael, what's good about this experience? What's good about the way you can start over with your life? The answers aren't going to be really fun to hear. I'm not going to get the answers I want. I'm going to get what's good about it. I've lost it. I have nothing. You want to know what's good about it? Nothing's good about it. I'll tell you everything that's bad about it, but I'm not telling you. And on we go, and we're stuck in the pit. But the power of if is a way to trick our brain to give us an out. Okay, I get it. Life sucks right now. I've lost everything. I have nothing left. But if I wanted to feel better about this situation, what would that look like? If I wanted to start looking at the future and what that might be for me, what would that be? You see, asking that question of your brain will start to reframe the point at which it goes, okay, so I don't have to feel good right now, but if I wanted to later, what would that look like? I'll give you some answers for that. And instantly, you start to reframe the questions. And it's not going to get you out of that pit of despair in a moment. But if you keep asking those questions, what if I wanted to be happy right now? What if I wanted to feel loved and empowered right now? What if I wanted to focus on the people who love and respect me as opposed to that person who hurt me? Who would those people be? You start to change the focus. You start to change that perspective. And before you know it, you're climbing out of the pit of despair. We've got to change the way we feel. And when we're in that pit of despair, it is really hard to do it. But using the power of if gives us an out. And the next thing we know, we're on our way to living a better life. And that's the goal. Change the questions all the way through taking the actions we want to achieve the outcome we're looking for. So now you know how to get past the one thing where questions don't work right away. We've got to change it from a yes and no to an if. And once we get past the if, we can change the questions that truly drive our outcomes. I'll see you next time on 24.